Hello music friends, Marcel Hoster here, celebrating music. And I was celebrating a cup of coffee as well, but I messed up my previous takes and I started over again, and well, I've done a couple of new takes and now my coffee is finished. I don't have it anymore, so oh man, what am I gonna do now? I mean, now I can't do that idea I had in my mind about, me sipping coffee here and telling you I was celebrating music. I didn't even want to be here right now. I didn't want to even turn on the camera and do this review. Alright, now I may have shocked several of you. I mean, yes, I love doing these reviews, but there's one thing I love doing more, and that is listening to music. And that was what I was doing before I turned on the camera. I just made some coffee and I decided I gotta do this review because I've been planning on doing it today and I've been listening to the album all day. But at a certain point, I had the album on repeat and I was enjoying it so much and I just couldn't bring myself on pressing that stop button. I just couldn't, because of the fact that I was enjoying what I heard. And it was a bit of a surprise to me because it was the first solo work I heard from this artist. And the funny thing is, this artist, we're talking of course about Tom de Wit, he's the man that made a career out of making life for reviewers very hard, because he is also the label owner of Layered Reality Productions. And that label releases a lot of music that simply does not fall into one single category, that one single genre, one single box, one single label. No, often 1, 2, 3, maybe more different genres or styles or categories or boxes or labels or whatever where they belong in or mix up in it, creating beautiful music. But reviewers like to stick a label on it and say this is prog metal, this is prog rock, this is folk rock, this is pop. But with these releases it's a little bit hard, so he's making life hard. I'm a reviewer, I know, my life is very hard. I have to listen to all that music and tell you about it, Ooh, you don't want to trade with me, trust me, you really don't want to. You don't want to listen to all that music, and tell people about it. It's a really hard life. So as I was saying, I was enjoying that album, this album. Look at it, really cool, really huge piece of, a huge cover. The cool thing is, I just looked it up, I thought, wow, this looks like it is almost the same size as a 7-inch sleeve. And yes, it is. It's just as big. So initially when I got it, I thought, wow, would there be a vinyl inside? Let's take a peek. No, there's no vinyl inside. There are a couple of other things inside, but I'll show you in a minute. But this is the new album by Tom de Wit, his 9th solo release. Music to stand around and feel awkward to.
When I was a child, I saw it clear. I was ruled by phobias and fears. A deeply rooted fear of fear. For things others consider play. A helping hand was reached.
Yes, we have a winner when it comes to the most cool album title. I mean, I have about 1400, going on to 1500 CDs in my wall here. But none of them have this cool title, so that is cool. And you have the artwork. You have a bunch of people that obviously are listening to music and feeling a bit awkward and just standing around. Now here we have the rear. Now here you can already see something. If you look at the way the tracks are mentioned here, you see some painting, some drawings with it. That's something that is also very important to this album. But again, I'll tell you in a moment. We have 11 tracks here. There's a lot to tell about this album, and I don't know if I can do justice in trying to do a 10-minute review. I don't know if I can do justice, but of the 11 tracks, 8 of them, you can just go to Tom de Wit's website or to the Layered Reality website and you can download those 8 tracks. And the cool thing is, they're essentially free. I mean, you can pay for them if you like, and if you want to support the musician who made this, you can pay for it. But essentially they are free. And then you have a limited edition, and as you can see, really cool. This one is even personalized for me, so this is my copy. But if you buy this one, you get 3 additional tracks that you won't find online, and you get some other things that I'm going to show you in a moment. So you know, that is cool. And now I have to mention this very specifically because there's the whole debate about piracy and about downloading and everything. But in this case, it is the decision of the artist to offer his music for free. Not someone else who decides his music will be free, not someone who buys this and puts it online and say, hey, you can download it for free because the artist gives it away. No, this is the decision of Tom DeWitt to give these tracks for free. And if you like, and if you are, you know, a good person and you want to support music, you pay for them. Now, we are talking about an amazing musician. I mean, I gradually started to grasp what an impressive musician he is. I mean, first I saw all the work he did with Layered Reality Productions. Then I heard the Mind Soul album. I saw on the Breaking the Layers DVD, I saw the show of Mind Soul. So I got an impression of what Tom DeWitt is like as a musician. Now, he's been here at liveprog HQ, and then we had a cool evening together and had a lot of fun. A lot of talks about music, so he's a great guy. And now I fully understand what an amazing musician this one is, and what an amazing passion for music he has. Because this album was not intended to be this album. He had other plans and just revisiting older songs and trying to, you know, well, rework them, improve them and put them online. But in the end, things got somewhat out of hand and it turned out to be a full album with 11 tracks, and 3 of these tracks are especially for this album. There are a couple of tracks that are completely new that he completely wrote also for this album, so that is very cool.
'Cause this feeling of loss feels like when butterflies turn to stone. I'm asking for a quiet moment.
Alright, time to, well, take out what's in it. Well, first of all, just in a humble plastic wrapper we have the CD with these 11 tracks, very beautiful music, and we have a little book. Now I'm going to put this one, I'm going to cover up the beautiful Tangent vinyl here. I'm going to put it right there, hope it stands so you can see it. And then we have, well, as you can see, it says here limited edition, and it says here something else, hopefully the conclusion of the album. And as it says here, this is the album companion guide. Now, to start with the most important thing, this part, you can see from the front, bring it a little closer, there you have it. There we have a lot of people contributing to this album. Most of them are doing all kinds of guitar solos, but there are a few that do a little bit more. I'm just going to run them down very quickly. We have Sander Stegeman, Elvia Dulsemer, Sybren Boonstra, Michel van der Werf, Laura ten Voorde, Lennart Kemper, Norbert Veerbrink, Hanne van Gorkum, Tristan Visser, Joop de Rooij, Ben van Gastel, Rosita Reitsma, Maarten Gunzink en Frank Schiphorst. And of course Tom DeWitt. Right there. So, these people made this album, and Tom DeWitt wrote all the songs, but he invited these other musicians to add their parts to it, to just give it some extra dimension on the album. And I would say that worked out really fantastic, because if you listen to the album, I mean, the general feeling that I got when I was listening to that album is that it feels like one extended piece of music with a lot of variety in it, with a lot of really beautiful moments in it. Sometimes it's really tender, delicate, fragile, but other times it's really heavy, it's almost brutal with grunts in it. There's amazing guitar work in it and amazing vocal work. And that is something I've recently become to love very much. I mean, I've always found vocals very important in an album. I think vocals can make or break an album experience for me. But I like it when they really do something with the vocals and not just have one singer sing everything. Now, I like it when they mix it up, when they layer things, when they add vocals to it, when they sing it in different ways. And that is exactly what is happening here. I mean, Tom DeWitt is the vocalist. I mean, well, apart from vocals, he does a lot more, because he plays guitar, he plays bass, sings drums, and did the orchestral arrangings. So he's a multi-instrumentalist, but in the way he sings on this album. Every song he sings in a different style, and it fits the music very well, it fits the mood very well. It is really beautiful. The funny thing is, I know that he doesn't like female fronted metal, but I was surprised to find that there is a female vocalist while doing a bit of a duet with him on one track.
To leave my side, but your body failed and life was dropped.
I saw your tears, I saw you screaming, I saw your face in disbelief.
Which is a very touching song. I'm looking up which one it is. It's called Morning After, but if you look at the way they spelled it, you know, it's a little play on words. You have those kind of things. Now, this is a good way to introduce what you find in the booklet. Things like this. You have these kind of cartoons in it. Well, it's more graphic novel idea, as well as comments. Right here, you have some comments by Tom de Wit, where he explains a little bit about the song, and well, that artwork is with every song, which is, I think, it's really cool. The visual aspect in this for this album is very important, because Tom also said that every song on this album will be turned into a video. So in the end you get, I think 11, but at least 8 videos of this album, which is, I think it's really cool, and that he put in a lot of time and a lot of effort to really make something special. And I think that is something that needs to be supported. I mean, if you have someone that is so passionate about music, and not just the making of the music, but everything around it, that is pretty awesome. And if I listen to what he brings on this album, in the way the songs are composed, in the way the songs are performed, I haven't heard any of this kind of music before, and that's the reason why when I put it on, I mean, even from the first spin I put it on, it was like, wow, this is really incredible. I mean, I've been listening to a lot of albums. I still have a huge pile of albums that I have to review, and I've been listening to them, and there are a lot of albums that are not bad, and you hear they are good musicians, but it doesn't feel like they're really passionate or something. I don't know what it is, but with this music, instantly I was sucked into it, and I couldn't get out of it, you know. And that's the problem I had with that stop button. I just couldn't get myself to doing it. It took me a lot of willpower to finally say, all right, I'm going to stop the CD now, and I'm going to turn on the camera, and I'm going to do the review. But deep down I didn't want to. Deep down I wanted to go back on the couch, put play, put the volume up a little bit more, and listen more to this album, because that's what this album is all about. I mean, I really suggest, you know, make sure you get this album, because it is really beautiful. It has so much amazing music and so much amazing performance on it, bringing all their, I don't know how you say it, they all bring a little bit of their magic and add it to the magic that Tom de Wit already has on this album, and really create a fantastic album. Now, I was thinking, you know, am I going to mention individual tracks? And at first, you know, I thought, you know what, I'm going to take a notepad, I'm going to take a pen, and I'm going to just write a small comment on each song. There are 11 tracks on this album, and I figured, you know, I'm going to be doing an hour-long review of this album. If I'm going to do that, if I'm going to dive into every track, and I'm not going to do that, you really need to get this album. And as I said, you know, you can go to the website and you can listen to the tracks, you can download them there, and I would really suggest pay something for it, because they are absolutely worth it. But as I said, get this limited edition, because you will absolutely love it. It's a really fantastic package. Yet there is one song I am going to mention, because that really stood out in everything. I mean, most of the songs are either proggy, rocky, metal kind of music, prog metal and everything. But then we come to this track, Butterflies. That track is so amazing. And it is a sort of a reflection moment in the music, because here all the guitars and all the drums are put aside, and what you have here is vocals, piano and violin. And that is so beautiful, and when you listen how beautiful Tom sings that song, it's like, wow, that is really amazing, you know. And then that is the only song where you really have that reflective moment, because after that, you know, the rock elements, the guitars come back in, but that song is really beautiful, and I just thought, like, wow, that's amazing, you know, so beautiful a track on this album. One track I have to mention that as well. That is this one, again, you know, with the artwork, and that is, here you can see the title already, the Dreamwalk Part 2, The Descent, a continuation of a track that he did before, and again he explains a little bit about that track, but this is a track that he really composed for this limited edition. It's one of the longer tracks on the album, and one of the heavier tracks definitely, with, as it says here, featuring the demented vocal stylings of Maarten Gunsing, Sander Stegeman and Laura ten Voorde. I mean, Laura ten Voorde plays violin on the album, but in the band that she normally plays in, Adaya, she also does some grunts, and she does that in this as well. And, you know, when you listen to that song, that's really has some, you know, well, as it says here, demented vocal parts in it, but it sounds altogether really fantastic, and I'm really impressed with this album. I had no idea. I mean, I knew it would be good, I knew it would be a fantastic album, but this level of awesomeness I did not expect. And I'm going to be very simple about this album. That one over there, I hope you can see the cover. I'll bring it a little bit closer. Music to stand around and feel awkward to. This is a liveprog must have. You really need to have it. If you love progressive music, if you love progressive metal, even if you don't like progressive metal, you still will enjoy this album, because Tom DeWitt created it in such a way that it doesn't feel like a metal album. It just feels like a fantastic album with great music on it. So therefore I say, file this under fantastic music, celebrate music, listen to it, and you will be addicted to it. I promise you that. So, wow, whew. I really need some more coffee, and if you don't mind, I'm going to switch off the camera now and I'm going back to this album, because the sun is still shining and it's still my day off, so I'm going to enjoy this one. Thank you for watching. Check it out, Tom DeWitt, Music to Stand Around and Feel Awkward To. I hope you will see me at a new review.